or? What do you do, cut yourself, shave it? Nice lipstick, by the way.
All right, Ryan Newman is with us. Ryan, your thoughts on the competition at Dover this weekend?
I really look forward to it. It's my favorite racetrack. It's my new favorite racetrack. I always said Darlington was, and I've had a lot of fun here at Dover, both during the race and after the race. So I really look forward to being here and having some fun with both the U.S. Army Chevrolet and the Fastenal Chevrolet for Junior.
Sounds good. Questions? Raise your hand so the folks can get to us. We'll go with Lee Spencer first.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Can you talk about your experience of going to Walter Reed this week before the race?
It was my third trip there, and every trip is a different experience because unfortunately there's different people there every time, but really an eye-opening and heartwarming experience to see what's typically young men being there and fighting through their injuries. So it's just nice to be able to spend time and share time and hear stories and trade stories, and even if it's talking about my buddy Don Miller's amputated leg, and talking about them so they can share and enlighten them on what he still does at 75 or 70 years old or whatever he is. So it was really cool. It was really neat. It was my my wife Chrissy's first time there, so it was cool that she got to see it as well and experience it and spend some time with the soldiers. And it's tough. It's not easy to sit there and talk to a 20-year-old kid that was injured, potentially life-threatening, and had people around him that died, and tell them that everything's going to be all right. But you have to, and we did.
Does it give you a greater sense of what it means to carry the Army on the side of your car?
Absolutely. It's an honor, as I've said, to drive the race car. But you can stand in drivers' introductions and see all these soldiers who are wearing their uniform, and then when you go to a hospital and see a soldier out of uniform that's been injured, it's a different sense of honor. It's still an honor, but it's a different sense of honor because I as I stated last weekend several times, without these people we couldn't be here doing what we're doing right now, or have the opportunity to drive the race cars, or as fans sit in the grandstands. So I walk in the door saying thank you to those injured soldiers, and I walk out the door saying thank you because I truly mean it.
We'll go Jay and Chuck, and then I need to see your hands again to get the rest of the lineup.
Jay Hart, Yahoo Sports. Ryan, after sort of a rough start, obviously things have turned around really well for you. Can you talk about how impactful Tony was in sort of keeping you on the right path to get to where you are right now in the season? And if so, what did he do to sort of steer you sort of in the right direction?
It's been really a group effort, and obviously Tony's a part of that group, but Tony Gibson, Tony Stewart, Bobby Hutchins, Matt Borland, a lot of people have been instrumental in helping out, making the U.S. Army Chevrolet faster each week, and working on our pit stops, working on the race cars, working on downforce, things like that. So it's been a lot of fun, and just want to keep the ball rolling. We were lucky and fortunate at the same time last week to finish second. If the race would have restarted, we would have had to pit. But either way, we've had a good string of top fives, and I'd like to keep that going.
We'll go Chuck, then Ed Hinton.
Ryan, if I go back to just briefly to the Walter Reed story, about 5-6 years ago, we heard a lot of quote war stories about conditions there. About can you bring us? I didn't see much since then. What did you see? Do things look good there?
As far as
conditions that we had, a lot of bad stories came out, a lot of bad press about how this, the conditions at the conditions for the people were bad. There was a lot out about that.
Across the seas, you mean, or at
in Walter Reed?
Oh,
no, and there hasn't been much come out about it now. They said they were going to improve it.
The conditions I thought were good. I think I know kind of what you're talking about, but they've got a new physical therapy center. They've got a lot of staff as far as helping people out, and the physical therapy center, which is brand new, as I stated, is state of the art. They got some really neat machines in there, and they're from what they said, they're knocking out 6 months of rehab off of everybody's rehab based on the technology that they have there at Walter Reed. So, housing wise, it's pretty nice, and the physical therapy part of it from what they do for rehab was state of the art. So,
Ed.
Obviously, I wasn't there 5 or 6 years ago, but today it's just walking in, it's pretty neat.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com, with the way we preface a lot of Ryan Newman questions. As an engineer, and somebody who's worked with engineers in NASCAR since day one, was it possible? Was there anything you could see as the '88 operation went sort of in a downward spiral this season? Could you see anything on the racetrack that made you think, maybe Tony Jr. does things in a more traditional way? Could you see anything, well, like they must be behind with this or that? Could you see any visible thing that maybe they were doing with the car that was behind?
That would be purely speculation, and I'm not here to speculate. I will tell you that, as we always say, it's a people business, and you have to work together as a group. You have to have that chemistry, which creates that gel, which keeps everybody together. And performance is a part of that. Attitude is a part of that. Ego is a part of that. Your mannerisms can be a part of that. So it's just part of sports in general. Every team goes through that, whether they're a team within an organization or a basketball team out there fighting against another team. It's about the people, and sometimes you have to make those changes. That's the bottom line.
What else for Ryan? Mike?
Mike Mulhern, MikeMulhern.net. Have you talked with the Army, or you're interested in going over to Iraq? I mean, I know it's a lot safer now, and you're an Army guy.
We talked about it in the off season, actually. I think actually it was before I was actually signed up to do some of this stuff, but it's just a matter of timing. It takes a day to get over there and a day to get back, and there's only so many days in a week in which we have things that we go testing and do other functions. So, yeah, I'd be interested in doing it, be interested in seeing it. Obviously, it's not the best place to go visit. I mean, Disney World would be really cool too, but going to see the troops would be what I'd be there for, and it's just a matter of aligning it right in the off season so that it can be effective and efficient for everybody. I don't want to go over there and see 3 people and spend a day in an airplane coming back. I'd want to make it effective and efficient.
Anything else for Ryan before we let him go? Scott Walsh has the last question.
Scott Walsh, Scranton Times. Ryan, last week with David Ruderman getting his first win, does it get you reflecting back on your first win? What do you remember about your first career Cup win?
Mine was rain shortened too. That's one part of racing that they never put it on the trophy, and they put it in the record books. But the trophy is what we take home. You won the race. It doesn't say how many laps it was. Doesn't say who finished second. And that's congratulations to him and his team. They put himself in position, and obviously a good strategy and pit call to stay out. And I told Ruderman after the red came out, I said, I'm pretty mad at you right now. He said, what'd I do? I said, you hit the wall. I said, if you wouldn't have hit the wall, he wouldn't have stayed out on the racetrack. I mean, he had everything to gain, and he did. And it was just good timing for him. And it was obviously good timing for us, too. But, we very easily could have been in that position had it been another lap under green. We were running him down. And he just, as a victory stands, it's a victory. When you win your first one, you want your second one that much more. And it's hard to put that into words. It doesn't make entire sense, but it's the way you feel.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.